Hello, before we start our dive into The Last of Us, I would be remiss not to address what is going on in our streets at the moment. There has been a loud and powerful cry for justice for the murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor that has not only spread through American streets but globally as well. It is incredibly heartwarming to see millions of people wanting to stand up for their fellow men and women of color and demand accountability. Before I go into my spiel about something that is fictional, I want to use whatever platform I have to speak up to these injustices and to provide helpful links so that you watching may speak up as well. As I said before, the marches and protests have been something quite beautiful to see. I really do think this generation and the next generation are key to changing the institutions that have been set up to keep people of color down, to keep women down, to keep the LGBT community down. Look, there have still been horrific things that have been happening during these protests. Police are still beating on people, and they're not hiding the fact that they are beating on people. But regardless, I do feel that in this moment we are looking at actual real change, a real permanent shift in change. You can't not hear us anymore. We've had a knee to our neck our entire existence, and we want to breathe, and we want to be heard. The main link I'm going to push is for Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a campaign aimed to maximize the impact of the Black Lives Matter movement by galvanizing Black Lives Matter supporters and allies to the polls in the 2020 U.S. presidential election to build collective power and ensure candidates are held accountable for the issues that systematically and disproportionately impact Black and underserved communities across the nation. If possible, please donate to Black Lives Matter. Whatever you can, anything helps. If you can't, there are also links below for petitions you can sign as well. So with all that being said, to my Black brothers and sisters out there, to our allies out there, be safe, be loved, and be heard. Hello. And welcome to Seasons Past, a Last of Us video series. In this series, we will be discussing each season of The Last of Us, summer, fall, winter, spring, and the DLC Last of Us Left Behind, all leading up to The Last of Us Part 2. Now, as you all know, and for those who don't, I don't know why you clicked on this video if you don't, The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out in the next couple of weeks, and like most people, I'm revisiting The Last of Us Part 1, or do we still call it The Last of Us, or I don't know. Do we have to add the part 1 on there? Or... Anyway, so I'm replaying it, but also in this time of quarantine, I wanted something else to keep me creatively busy on top of all the other shit I'm doing. And also, I just wanted to talk about something that I love, keep the positivity going. So all these videos are going to be a review, a discussion, a revisit, a revusket, if you will. Jim, could you copyright that, please? Yeah, I got it, yeah. This fucking guy. And if everything goes according to plan, after the discussion of all of these seasons, there will be a wrap-up podcast where I'll bring on a close friend, and we'll talk about all the things we love about The Last of Us and our hype for Last of Us Part 2. After that, I don't know, I gotta play Last of Us Part 2. But until then, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about summer. Summer begins 20 years in the past with Joel, his daughter Sarah, and his brother Tommy trying to escape an outbreak of infected in their town. Unfortunately, only 2 of them make it, Tommy and Joel, as Sarah is shot by a soldier following orders. So yeah, Sarah's death is not something I expected at all in this game. I was lucky enough when I first bought it to avoid most of the spoilers. And yes, this game opening like that, like I expected Sarah to get separated from her father and like turn up 20 years later and be like, "Hey, Dad, what's up?" Or like she would be evil or something of that sort. Like she would turn up and be like, "Hey, you raised this girl instead of raising me," or "You never came to look for me," or something, just something like that. I didn't expect her to die in the opening scene. I didn't expect the story to go that way. And yeah, and it's just like it's a really interesting way and a really brutal way to introduce us to the reality of The Last of Us, the reality of the loss that happens within this world, and what that can do to a person. How does that change a person when you lose something so close, and then you're thrown into this dark pit that is the world of The Last of Us, this world of survival of the fittest. So, and almost like the death of morality. But yeah, the beginning of this game is always rough no matter how many times you play it. It's rough the first time you play it. It's rough the 15th time you play it. It's just, it's a lot to take in the opening, 10-15 minutes of the game. So yeah, didn't expect it. Another thing I didn't expect was for this game to jump 20 years. We don't grow with Joe during this time. We only pick up with him and hear things about his past. And with his past, we get the gist that
Joel's done some terrible things.
Joel is a survivor, for better or worse. This is what this world has changed him into, and that's how he justifies it. Until Ellie shows up. Ellie is a fantastic character you instantly fall in love with the moment she tries to stab the main character to death.
Fuck away from her!
Hey! Let her go.
She's a girl with a tragic past, still trying to move forward and hope in this desolate monster flora world she's been born into. Her interest in the past is always amusing and also sometimes even heartbreaking. She's great, and seeing her grow and evolve throughout this game never gets old. Especially when you find new conversation points between Joel and Ellie. Like, the points where, the little triangle pops up and Ellie's just like, oh, cool, there's a thing. And Joel's just like, I want to tell her about that thing. And you're just like, I want you to tell her about that thing too. This would be very interesting.
Well, every battle's got a losing side.
What if they had families?
Everyone has a family. Best not to dwell on it.
How can you not?
In this latest playthrough of Summer, I found a conversation between Joel and Ellie that I've never actually seen before. It's when Joel, you're in a house, he goes upstairs, and Ellie follows him. Ellie follows him, and she's just like, I just have to get this thing off my chest. I'm really sorry about Tess. Like, I just need to say this. I know you're probably hurting. I just want you to know that I do feel sorry for what happened and getting you guys into the situation. And of course, Joel, the ever so emotionless Joe, is like, grr. Whatever, just don't bring it up again. And, yeah, but, eventually he opens up. But speaking of Tess is the first companion we get in the game. She's Joe's partner and probably the only person he's truly opened up to other than Tommy in this apocalypse. While escorting Ellie through the city, Tess is unfortunately bit and sacrifices herself to get Ellie and Joe some time to escape. Tess sees Ellie as a beacon of hope.
This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel.
Get this girl to the Fireflies, and she can repair their world. Maybe even make up for some of the bad shit she and Joel have done over the past few years. I really do think if the shoe was on the other foot, the ending of this game would have been very different. I think Tess is certainly a person who would put her own self-interest aside, or at least she learns to, while meeting Ellie, to put her self-interest aside for the greater good. After Tess's death, we kill a couple more folk, and then we move over to Bill's town. And I love Bill. I love you, Bill. Bill is one of my favorite characters in the game. I just love people in these post-apocalyptic situations that just know what the fuck they are doing. They know their shit. Bill has fortified an entire town against hunters and clickers and all of the infected. He has a plan. He has know-how. He's funny in that know-it-all type of way.
Be thankful you're still drawing breath. That was plan A, B, C, all the way to fucking Z.
He's just a really great character to watch, and it's also just, he's a great illustration of how this world can change a person. But he also has his flaws. He's lonely, he's stubborn, he refuses to let people in, and those that he does let in, he eventually pushes away because it's his way or the highway. He refuses to trust people. From there on out, we reach the town where the hunters reside and kill a whole lot of them.
What about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
It's also where Joe finally gives in and hands Ellie a gun, something he's been fighting against since the beginning. I think a lot of the first half of Summer is about protecting Jelly. I've recorded this 5 times, and I keep wanting to say Jelly. What the fuck? It's also the first time where Joe finally gives in and hands Ellie a gun. I think a lot of the first half of Summer is about protecting Ellie's innocence. No guns, don't look at that, no killing. Stay the way you are and don't let this world change you. And don't let you change me. Joe has the mindset of not really wanting to get to know Ellie, because the more he'll get to know about Ellie, the more he might start to care. We also run into Henry and Sam, which, by the way, side note, I want to talk about the Infected for a second. The Infected. I hate the Infected. They're creepy, off-putting, they flail about like Kermit on cocaine. They are just... It's fucking gross, man. I mean, look at that. Just... Ugh! Fuck, that is revolting. My least favorite parts of the game are when we get stuck in infected hives. It just stresses me the fuck out. I hate it, I've always hated it, and I'm really not looking forward to whatever they have in store for The Last of Us Part 2 when it comes to Infected. They're extremely existential as well. My roommate was watching me replay the game, and she pointed out that one of the reasons they are so scary is because they are inhuman. They have no consciousness or remorse, they are just shoot to kill. But on the flip side of that, I think they are scary because there might still be a person in there. Around the time the game was coming out, I remember a developer doing a sneak peek or a demo or something of that sort, and they were talking about the Infected. And what they were saying about the Infected is that the people who are bit might still be in there. Under all that fungus is a person in pain, in constant agony because of what's happening to their bodies. So whenever a bloater or a clicker or a runner is coming at you, all their moaning and screaming is because they are terrified, they are in pain, they are suffering from this virus. And you're still killing a person. And that is fucking terrifying. Thank you. And now, back to Henry and Sam. Henry and Sam are great characters because they're essentially Joe and Ellie's opposites. I mean, come on. But they're also great because they give Joel and Ellie and us a moment to have a team, potentially even a family. In a different story, this is where the group teams up with a common goal and goes on an adventure that lasts the entire story. You have the young and the old clashing and bonding, they're doing stuff, they're making it happen, they're traveling through this world as a team. Unfortunately for Henry and Sam,
This ain't that kind of movie, bruv.
but while they were alive, their levity and brotherhood was nice to witness.
Gonna be moving fast, okay? So no matter what, you stick to me like glue.
Like glue.
Like glue.
Got it.
Good.
While Henry is a little overprotective and kind of stiff in some scenes,
Henry, did you see that?
Let's keep it down, buddy, okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
it's because he wants to keep his brother safe. He wants to keep him alive. We've seen what happens to people in this world when they experience loss. Unfortunately, you see what happens to Henry firsthand when he experiences loss. Sam, on the other hand, longs for a world where kids can just be kids and you can pick up a toy without weighing yourself or your survival down. But in the end, they both know how to loosen up and let the sunshine in when the clickers aren't clicking.
Here we go. Fuck.
Also, Henry describing riding a Harley is always funny.
No, Ellie. This isn't just any regular motorcycle, okay? You get on that bad boy, you feel that engine? Nothing like it.
Oh, yeah? How would you know?
Seen it in my dreams.
Okay.
With Henry and Sam's death, we reach the end of summer, which is a hell of a capper, by the way. My God, I mean, just bang, and then we're moving on, guys. This is it. You know, we're gonna go find Tommy after a dude shot himself. The underlying theme of summer for me is trust. Joe finally trusting Ellie with his life and the realities of the world, Henry trusting Joe with Sam, the four of them coming to trust each other, even the betrayal of trust with Robert and Frank.
Bill, I found this in there, and I figured you should have it.
That's how you feel. Well, fuck you too, Frank. Fucking idiot. You ready to go?
Trust is the drive for the season and builds into what we'll be talking about next week within the season of fall. I really enjoyed my replay of summer. I found a lot of new rooms, some new letters. I found a little girl holding a giraffe, which is like holy foreshadowing Batman. Also, shivs are fucking awesome. I never really used them my first playthroughs. I usually went guns a-blazing or strangled my opponents. Sounds weird saying that out loud. But shivs are great, and they make quick work. Bow and arrow is still the best weapon in the game. The violence is still awe-inspiring. Blowing people to chunks is always disturbing. And this game never ceases to remind you that you are killing a human being. So yeah, Last of Us still holds up so far, and I can't wait to dive deeper and further into the seasons leading up to part 2, and I hope you guys come along for the ride. Now, mind you, this is where I do the obligatory YouTube thing, so just bear with me. Bear with me for a couple of seconds, if you will. Just be a good brother or a good sister, and just bear with me. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'm not getting out of this country accent. Oh wait, there it is. My voice is back. Okay, voice is back. Awesome. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I've heard it helps. And if you like this video scaries. What the hell is a scaries? Now, hold on, let me look it up right quick. If you like this video series, please hit that subscribe button so you can follow it. Full disclosure, this video was supposed to be posted this last Monday, but I just didn't feel comfortable posting it during everything that was going on. There's just felt like, you know, there's more important things to be talking about than a video game. But yeah, I'm gonna try to have the next few episodes out within the next 2 weeks so we can, you know, properly coincide with the Last of Us Part 2, the release of that. So yeah, as I in the video, I think I said next week, so it might be this week that we're talking about fall. Well, probably actually, no, it will be this week that we're talking about fall. But yeah, if you guys want to come along for the ride, please hit that subscribe button. Also, there will be, in July, in June, I'm going to focus more on this video, getting this video series out. In July, I'm going to focus more on short form content. So there will be a couple of short films coming to this channel that I think you guys will get a kick out of. So if you're looking forward to that, also, you know, subscribe to the channel. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and to the universe and back, endure and survive.